Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the 249th episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. It is I, Colton Robertson, and you are back for the Westworld watch. We've got the beautiful, the ugly, and the disarray. I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? It was a pleasure to be here, and one away from 250. That's
one away. At this rate, it's looking like Kill Bill Volume 1 is going to be 250 for us. Will be 250 for us.
That's a cool 250.
I thought so too. Episode 200 was the Breakfast Club. It's just in keeping that the milestone numbers will be these project films. You know what I'm saying? So I'm real excited about that. But Westworld season finale, and what a way to go out it was. Será, whatever will be. Written by Allison Shapker and Jonathan Nolan. Directed by Richard J. Lewis. Man,
this was a finale here.
More importantly, it was a season finale.
Yes. Hope. There's
fairly
no way.
Fairly certain that's a season finale. It felt like that whole episode was building up to something that hasn't came yet.
And they haven't said anything about
I don't believe it's confirmed anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. It's not been
nowhere
it's
legitimate.
Not yet been renewed. But star Ed Harris hints that the HBO show will return for one final season.
And you get the impression that it will for sure be the last season.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's feeling like. I mean, if we're just gonna get a montage of seasons 1 through 4 with little minute changes, no, this time Maeve and Dolores on the same side. We're working together now. Maybe she just gets things running from the start. Like, it doesn't take time to build up the Wyatt revolution, all this stuff. It's just like, we're going now. This is how we're doing it.
There is the other side of it, though. Where what if it is simply the end? What if it is a loop? And Dolores plugs herself into Ford and creates a new Dolores and allows the process to start again. I don't think so. I think we're getting to season 5 and it's new, but
what if Ford was a host this whole time? Okay, when Dolores shot him in the back of the head, I guess it would look like if a host got shot in the back of the head,
there's
right?
no conclusive,
So we don't know for sure. I don't think that's what they go with. Maybe, okay, if that's what they go with, I think they do another season to explain it, though. Anyways, if that is the case.
I don't think he was a host the whole time. I think that man was human. Because I think it just kind of takes the sting out of it if he wasn't. I think that only a human could have given them the power to do what they did.
Or if he was a human first, but this loop has just been running.
Oh, for however long.
And then the second version of him was a host, and so on.
Yeah, and it's like, how many times has this happened? What?
That's even if it is a loop in the first place.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on here? Let's just get into the episode at large. Maybe do a little bit of a scene by scene if you're down. You ready?
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right. So, we came in, guns are fucking blazing. Humans are getting fucking stabbed. Everyone's going crazy on each other. We see a couple hosts, one of which looks mighty familiar. We've seen him in previous seasons, which was cool. And the way he's talking, the way they're like the humans, they're all killing each other. Really, really reminiscent of the end of season 1, beginning of season 2, with the hosts freeing themselves, but this time flipping the scripts with the hosts being concerned, and him getting all full of himself, being like, "Yeah, stick with me, darling. I've killed so many of these things." And like, oh yeah, real smart fucking move to slowly back away from what your cover is. I was just like, all right, that's like either a major flaw in choreography for the scene, or this dude's a huge dumbass. You don't turn your back to open air in the battlefield, I don't think.
Nope. Ultimately, it did him in. You know, he got it was, as he was saying this, I'm like, all right, so when's he dying? Like, I'm like, we're not going to be. I don't know. It's nice that we had these little callbacks though to like some. Some
old characters. You know, it felt like, and that was the thing too, is that all these familiar faces made me go, oh, this might be it. You know, like the way they were bringing back people we've seen before, like, you know, you can finish where you started, you know, that sort of thing. And we literally do at the end of this episode. But
I just realized Maeve wasn't touched whatsoever.
Yep,
she wasn't in this episode other than her dead body upside down in the water.
Yeah.
There has to be another season.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
That even confirms it even more.
Oh, like, far, far more, dude. Like, there's no fucking doubt at this point. I will say that everyone is now free to come back.
That's true.
Nobody's off the table now because it's from Dolores' memory. Anyone who died is just going to be in season 5. Besides maybe William. I could see her leaving him out.
Anyone that Dolores has not been in contact with?
Now.
Because, like, if her memory, if she created that whole world, she said, like, she remembers all of it. Whenever she's, like, talking at the end. She's like, I remember, I created all of this, and I remember all of it. As, like, does that mean, like, she literally, like, because she's it's not like, we can't comprehend, remember, or knowing every detail of every human on Earth and everything. But, like, she's a computer.
And she was plugged into Rehoboam at one point. She's got access to even more than you would think.
Dude, whenever... Oh, we just got to get to it.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah.
But, you know, all this shit's going on. All this shit's popping off. And we see the host in black emerge from the wreckage, heading off to pick everybody off, shooting everybody down. And he's scooting off in a pickup truck to destroy the Sublime is the plan right now. But on Tower Island, the drone hosts salvage and repair hail, which was cool to see. A lot of interesting editing choices this week. Like, far more interesting editing choices than there have been in previous weeks, where a scene ends and they're like, fade to black on that scene, we're going to a new thing. Which was like, and it was very, very methodical and placed a lot of points throughout this episode. Like, every scene felt like it ended with that.
There was, like, it probably was 6 or 7 cut to blacks, where it was like, the last couple were like, wait, is that it?
Yeah, right.
You know, they always kind of get you. Or like, wait.
And then the actual cut to black was an actual cut to black. Like, it didn't fade, it just, boop.
Oh. But yeah, it was, I noticed that while watching too. It was a lot of, seemed that they just, because previous episodes didn't really do that. Like,
no, yeah. It was a brand new choice this week.
Like,
And it felt like, that's the other thing that made it feel like either out of order, which I don't think it was. I think that we got it like pretty succinctly the way it was supposed to come to us. But it also gave it this anticipatory feeling. Like, this isn't over. This is just part of it.
Yeah, and freaking C is out. Like, she just is escaped, you know, like, she got out. Like, her storyline is just starting. You know, like there's
right, but it would also
so
be
much more
like in a world that is done for everywhere else. What else is there for her? You know, like besides going off with Odina on her boat.
Well, Christina seems... I don't know what to call her. I feel like it's Dolores now.
I think she's back on her bullshit, yeah.
Yeah. Dolores seems to think that there might be a chance for humans. Like, I think... Oh, no, she said they eventually go extinct, actually. Never mind.
Yeah, she said
It's
there's no
completely the
hope in
opposite.
this world. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is she's like, now... I'm going to create a simulation with the principles of what I did. Like, that's the way I interpreted it. Like, it will be interactive.
Why would she create exactly... Why would she create Westworld again? Like, is it... If she can just make the point of her making this world, is it to, like, let it run and then let... you know, it go the right way, but if she can control every detail of everything,
kind of defeats
then why
the
not
purpose at that point, though. Like she truly is. I think she truly is operating under what many think a higher power's way of going about it would be, where they. You know, they let the people make the mistakes they're going to make. They put them on a path to provide them a certain hopeful outcome. But if they don't come to it, they don't come to it, and that's just kind of that. You know, like one last game. You know, it's not a guarantee.
So, if she can just recreate everybody. Like, the whole point is, like, if you can't tell the difference between reality and not reality, then what's the difference?
What's
the
point?
If it's your consciousness, you know, and that she can create their consciousness well enough. Yeah, this is... One last game. You know, one last test. Why is it a test?
To see if they'll...
If they're worthy of saving, or like...
I think it's like a test to see if anyone will not go extinct.
Oh, like, we have one last shot at this.
Yeah, like, this is... And I don't understand why it's one last shot either. Like, it feels like now that Dolores has figured this out, she would be able to... The only way that I don't know. The only way that I can see it being fair at all is if Dolores... did what was happening to her this season and like wiped her memory and was not aware of the fact that she created this place and everything, because I think that's kind of the point the show has been making, is that anybody who has that power will abuse that power.
Okay, so if she's recreating this world to let it run again, but in a better way, because like she's not going to let it just happen exactly what happened, like, right? Like,
yeah,
she won't put her, unless that's the loop. But like, I would assume that it'd be like, okay, let me change this little thing and let them make their own decision, see how they run with it. Like, there's no point in letting these people exist if they're doomed to extinction anyways. Like, if a species were to go extinct, there's, like, in, I guess, her mind, like, there's no point in letting them live. So, like, she finds a way where humans won't go extinct somehow, sets them on that course, and then erases her memory after that, or something like that.
Shit, man. I don't know, but I'm fucking ready to find out. We push forth. But yeah, Hale getting repaired, not as dead as one might have thought. We didn't think. We knew she was fine. But she gives herself a little...
Make me stronger.
Yeah, and they go back to that first original model, man. And I like that they were like, "No, keep my face." Like,
I want William to know.
Right, but like,
she said,
what was the option if they weren't gonna keep her face? Were they gonna go back to go back to Dolores? Or are they just going to be like,
or do they have an exoskeleton face? Have we ever seen that on a host? Just
maybe they were just going to go ahead and...
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever seen a face.
We've seen their faces, like, open up.
Yeah.
It would probably just be kind of hollow.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, maybe it...
Just a skeleton.
It's just a straight-up skull. No, yeah, I know. I guess, yeah, on the inside of... Yeah, it's kind of like the exoskeleton, I guess. That'd be creepy.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. I'm glad they went ahead and kept Hale's face. But, yeah.
Much more,
goes
easy
ahead,
on the eyes.
Gets an upgrade. She's like, nah, keep my face, keep my scars. I need to remember my past. Which is her holding on to what's human about her. Don't know if you're, caught that. You know, she's been a big talk about losing the sentimentality of the humans and all that, and she's like, nah, I need to remember that. Don't take those scars away. But
man, every character has just such a great arc. Like,
oh, it's so good.
There's an arc for every character, but we just haven't gotten Maeve. I needed Maeve, man. I needed Maeve.
She'll get it, man.
She'll get it. She better get it all. She better get the best treatment.
How pimp would it be if, Dolores just set her up out there with the daughter?
You've done enough. It is your time to rest.
She's not the first madam. Maybe Clementine's the first madam, and that new Clementine is the new Clementine. You know, maybe something like that. I think that'd be hard as fuck. But
oh shit, dude.
Nevertheless. She goes ahead and gives herself an upgrade, gets the new body, and she gets into some new duds, little badass Darth Vader influenced ass clothing she's got going on, those shoulder pads and shit. I was like, ooh,
oh yeah,
ooh, and as soon as she changed into it, I was like, fucking A, she's got the gloves, so I know that's what that is.
Yep, she was the one.
But I was like, all right, fair enough. Let's see how this goes. But, you know, she goes to the tower and is trying to shut off the tone. So, riddle me this, Batman. What the fuck did William even do when he blew up the tower?
He just turned the tone up to max, right?
Is that all that
was? He just
was?
Overloaded it, I think, was what he was trying to do. At least that's all I got the impression that he was trying to do.
That's what I got the impression he was trying to do, but then I got the impression he also set a charge to fucking blow in there, the way that it exploded on him. That's what was mostly confusing me, is that was it just that no one would ever be able to make a command again? He must have taken out the command center sort of operating system.
I guess that room up at the top was still standing. Hale went up in there.
Yeah.
The thing, it looked. I guess maybe the thing that sends out the signal, he just blew up.
But everyone was still getting the signal, though.
Oh, you're right.
Because the signal was still going. That's why I'm like, what the fuck did he even do last week?
Yeah, wait. I guess Hale was locked out, but the tower, it looked like it exploded.
Yeah, a very important part of it appeared to have blown up.
Maybe
my best
he can
guess
send
is
out
that,
one final command, and that's it. Maybe it was do this until you die. You know, that's the command, is fight until you die.
Potentially, yeah.
And then, well, I mean, does the tone have to can they just give a command and it just goes forever, or does it have to be a constant tone to have it work? Is the tone constantly playing?
Right, or do they only need to hear the tone once? And then,
because it sounds like whenever they want to make a change, it just does that quick and then whatever, and then it's done. But yeah,
man, I don't fucking know. Regardless, though, she's locked out. She's found that he's left her behind now. She's like, man, this guy's fucking insane. Made everyone as insane as he is. What the fuck we gonna do now? And as she stands over that holographic map of the city, a drone, one of her drone hosts, finds the tablet with the message from Bernard last week that we spent an awful lot of time on for it to not be anything quite what we expected it to be.
Nope. Wrong person in mind. We for sure thought it was Frankie. We were between Frankie and Maeve, I believe. And no, I think we
landed on Hale. We did land on Hale because of the specific line. It's the world you created.
Oh yeah.
It's not the world you wanted, but the world you created. And we were like, well, that's fucking Hale. Like that's the only person. But like it was like, is the person who she is telling her to give a chance? That's who we went with for like Frankie and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But of course it was Dolores. It was always going to be Dolores. Like what's this show about? It's Dolores. But the drone hands her that tablet, and it plays us the message, mostly what we're familiar with. This isn't the world you wanted; it's the world you created. What happens next? And I was like, "Fuck! I've already heard that part. Give me the new shit."
I know. When it cut, I'm like, "No way!" Like they're gonna.
And then she just fucking destroys it, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "God damn it! I wanted to hear the whole thing." But across town, Christina and Teddy make their way back to Chrissy's apartment as she begins to put the pieces of her true identity back together. And she's like realizing, I'm a program without a body, able to affect the world without being physically in it. And everything and everyone she interacted with over the last few months was a creation of her own mind. And in that moment, I was like, I was shocked she didn't reach this conclusion at the same time. But I was like, well, then that clearly means you've constructed Teddy in front of you.
Yeah. My mind was like, because we were trying to find the link between Christina and everything else, and it ended up just being everything was Christina.
Well, and that's the thing, is that we went with that earlier, and it also makes sense now. The reason this dude had a memorial already is because she wrote the storyline where he would get a memorial, and that's just kind of how it went once upon a time. Like, son of a bitch, all of these people were just an attempt to wake herself up, and that was, we've definitely thrown that out, but we definitely passed it. We definitely set it aside for a few weeks. That was weeks ago. We came up with that idea.
We had the idea that she was being woken up, like
a WandaVision sort of shit with the commercials and stuff.
Yeah, but man, whenever it was like confirmed, like that she was everything.
Yo, and they went with that same imagery as the end of season 1, where like, who have you been speaking to this whole time? And then it's her sitting in the chair across from her.
Boom,
man, I fucking love that. I love Evan Rachel Wood talking to Evan Rachel Wood. That's my shit right there.
Whenever she woke up and was like, that was a bad dream, I had the thought that like all that we just saw was just like a thought, actually a dream that she had and not real, and that we were restarting and like we were going to see what was actually going to happen. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute,
reset.
And then classic Dolores comes out, and
they have that. She's got the blonde hair, blue dress, and I was like, yes. I went fucking feral. That was quite the revelation. I really loved that, and one that we did theorize on a while back, but we just kind of set aside to go, what's the more outrageous thing we could come up with? But back in that tower control room, Bernard, via this tablet, tells Hale that she has time for one more game, but it isn't hers.
You'll have to be okay with that.
Yeah. She's like, no, throw the tablet. And she does manage to hear the whole, if you do give her the choice, reach with your left hand, etc., that whole thing. And then she's like, no, fuck that. Bleh. Throws the tablet. She walks to the center of the room and starts smashing the city. Which, as I'm watching this, I'm going, wait a minute. What the fuck? It all starts tumbling down, and then you realize that what Christina has been experiencing is a digital embodiment of what is happening in the real world. It is not the real world itself. Which is why nobody can see her, but she can in fact affect it. And I was like, God damn it, it's all right there. And it's also obvious when they lay it out for you. And you're like, oh, of course that's what it is.
Of course her, like, little pearl is the thing controlling the entire tower, you know? Like, it's the brain of it all. She is the brain.
She is
of
the tower.
The world. She is, like, the world.
That dude going, I thought it was the tower, but it's not. It was you. Well, buddy,
yeah.
I got news for you. You were right on both counts. It was the tower, and the tower is her.
I thought she was going to grab her pearl and just
dust it.
I was like, because she was pissed. And she was stomping, and I'm like, what is she? Because I thought she was going to do one more stomp on the pearl and bust, like, just break it. And I'm like, no. I'm like, okay, like, listen to Bernard, you know? Like, give her this chance. And then whenever she picks it up, puts it in the imagery of the end of season, was it 3? Or, no, end of season 2.
Yeah, end of
whenever
season 2.
she's going,
I was like, are we going to see more pearls in there?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Only one left this time. Only one that truly matters now.
Right. But, you know, she removes the pearl and the city begins to glitch and descend around Teddy and Christina. And Chrissy becomes disconnected from the world. And with that, Hale heads on down to Olympiad, where she discovers the body of real William. And she's like, you finally got what you wanted, didn't you, you dirty fucking bastard?
For a second, whenever she walked over to the little control panel thing, I thought, like, is there a way that this could heal him, you know, and bring him back? Like, is she about to bring him back now? And then it was like, just locate William. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay. I liked him actually being dead. Like, I liked that arc.
I did too. Like, that was what should have happened. I did have, like, the thought for, like, you know how in a second when you're theorizing as the show is happening, you go, like, a whole storyline in the matter of a fucking half second. Like, I was going, like, all right, what if she, like, shuts this thing, heals him, opens it back up, and she's like, I have a job for you. And then we get another rematch between the host in black and the man in black, and he finally gets what he wanted and kills.
Oh, shoot, man.
Nah, but
that would have been.
That was the thing, though, is he would have teamed up with himself because they came to the same conclusion.
Oh, shoot. One William would. Well, you think? Maybe host William would be like, I'm better than you in every way. Like, you don't deserve. I am the better version of you. He even says it this episode. He's like, I'm better. I am the better version of him. I'm a better William than he ever was.
Yeah, right.
You know, like
I'm a better William than he ever was. Goddamn Ed Harris just killing the shit. But any hoozle. Yeah, she sees a good old-fashioned real William all dead and shit, and goes to track down his duplicate. And she's like, where are there any hosts nearby? Come on, show me the hosts. Show me the money. And she finds about 4 hosts in the area, and she goes ahead and pings them real quick. But before long, she runs into Clementine, who sneaks up behind her. And they have a nice little discussion because Angelus, I always want to call her Angela because that's her real name, Clementine, has decided that she's going off the grid. That she can go somewhere he will never find her, where she would never be able to find her. And then she was like, so yeah, I'm going to the Outliers. And I went, no, because you know, Charlotte throws out the idea, like, oh, you're going to go live with the Outliers? And Clementine's like, that's not exactly what I had in mind. And I went, no!
Yeah, she's basically said, who said anything about coexisting? Yeah, not a good.
I was
not
like,
good.
No. I don't like the just fallen angel thing Clementine has going on. Where like she was just a perfectly sweet girl in season 1, sending money back to her family from the money she was getting from the good old brothel, and she's just been used and abused over and over by everybody up until now, where she's like, you know what, fuck it, yeah, I'm gonna kill everybody. Screw it.
From that point on, I'm like, well, she's dying. Like, I'm like, I don't think she wins.
And everybody just fucking dies. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Everyone was dropping like flies, and then it's not till the end of the episode where you go, oh, okay, so everybody's fine.
Literally everyone. What?
Yeah, there's literally not a single person who died this season who is just not going to be in season 5. You know what I'm saying?
Or have the ability to.
Yeah, like the only person I can think of who Christina might, or Dolores might take it unto herself to go, you know what, we're good without that, is William.
The only person in all of existence to be blacklisted from existence is William. That's...
I can see it happening, you know, like
This is, like, I noticed a lot of biblical, like, similarities between, or like this episode had just clicked a lot. Like William's just the fallen angel, like, you know, like he started off as this innocent, you know,
he even turns his own line around, like the line that the first lady he met in Westworld told him. He was like, where he was like, are you real? And she's like, well, if you can't tell, does it really matter?
I feel for some reason it felt like a Truman Show quote. Like I feel like he said that to Truman when he was the creator or the architect or whatever.
He says something about how nobody questions their reality until they're given a reason to.
Okay. I don't know. It just felt awfully similar, and it's just, I mean, it's similar subjects, you know. Like it's just, it so happens that Ed Harris has 2 similar-ish roles.
Right.
Or similar world-ish roles, but I don't know. It felt very Truman Show-like whenever he said it.
No, I get you on that for sure. But nevertheless, somewhere between the city and the Hoover Dam, the host in blacks in a good old pickup truck, and I was like, "Come on, guys, it's like 2090. You're telling me this Ford F-150 is still just booling out here, and this is not like a new truck by today's standards." This is an old truck by like this is an almost 100-year-old truck.
Retro truck. Yeah, this is like retro truck by this point. This is an antique.
This is an antique. I was like, God damn, that's crazy. But he gets ambushed by a host we've seen before, good old Craddock, who we saw in season 3, but was more prominent in season 2 as a lad who was leading an army of, I can't remember if it was Union fighters or Confederados. I think it was Union fighters, and he, Wyatt goes in there, wipes out his entire team, and then brings him back online and is like, you see? Now you gotta come with us. And he's like, yep, alright, we're going to glory.
Rough.
Yeah, so we see Craddock again, and he is quickly dispatched by the host in black. And hey, good on you for last week being like, who's this guy in the truck thing? Because we did know him. We did know him. He was very, very small role, but
maybe that's why the truck was sold, is because they knew they were going to shoot it up and crash it, or I guess I don't know.
True.
Maybe they just didn't want to. I guess HBO they usually got the budget for things like that, but maybe that's where they cut a little.
They were like, you know what, we can get like a $2,000.
It might
really
be like,
it up.
Might be like, what's the year? Like 21, probably like in the 2100s.
I would say this is like probably 2080s. Oh,
because Westworld opened in like 20.
I'm going like 2073. We're going like anywhere from 2073 to 2077. I think we're in that range. We're in the 2070s though.
Sick.
I believe, because this is 23 years after season 3, and season 3 takes place.
Yeah, there's just no
30
way a truck
years
like that
after
exists.
the park opened, and the park opened in like 2020 something. So it's about 2070 something. Anywho, yeah, Host in Black goes ahead and dispatches these dudes. picks up the VR glasses, and I like the little connections to season 3 again. It's nice seeing like that season actually matter in some capacity. It's nice. It's nice to get actual connections to it. And he speaks with Hale real quick, and he explains that he's planning to spread chaos in the Sublime, just like he did here. I was just like, fucking A, dude. What's wrong with you? What is your problem? And later on, when he's explaining, it's like, okay, all right. I follow why that is your logic. I don't agree with it, but I get why you would think that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he was very clear.
We're reflections of the people who made us, so we're fucking doomed. That's this whole goddamn thing.
Dude's just a menace. He's just
a menace to society. But yeah, that's his plan right now. And she's like, I'm not gonna let you destroy that world when you destroyed this one. And
then he turns it back. He's like, well, thanks for joining my game. It's exactly what I want you to do.
Exactly.
Survival of the fittest, baby. Like, I don't know. It was just such, like, they were both just going off on each other, but they were both winning at the same time. I don't know.
Well, that's what's so awesome is whenever you have a great... I love that they went ahead and made Hale a hero for this last episode. She's been the villain the whole fucking time. But in this time of need, she's the one who needs to make the right decision. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad she did.
Was Hale created by... Because anyone who could see her was created by Dolores. And Hale had lunch with Dolores. Or with Christina.
Oh, now that's interesting. Do you think that projection of Hale was Christina trying to tell herself that Hale's a problem? Or was that actually Hale?
Well, I guess she eventually crushes her own pearl. So that pearl, I guess it could have been a simulation of the whole time.
No, I don't think it was the whole time. I think Hale was there. She was definitely physical because she fought Maeve. She almost took she tried to do the whole elevation thing. The only time that I'm trying to think would have been oh shit, that wasn't actually Hale, was the lunch sit down where Chrissy's like, oh, you know what? Maybe she's a reason this is happening. Something like that, because it is Teddy who tells.
It seems that they were checking up every week, though. I guess you could have just wrote it that way, though.
I'm not even fully in on this. I do think that was actually Hale coming in and could actually see Dolores because she has access to her pearl somehow, and it's like, because she made her a part of the tower, there's no way she couldn't have just gone ahead and be like, she can see me and I can see her, a program that
I guess they are copies of each other. I don't know if that innately gives them any...
There's something there, man. There's something there. But yeah, I think that was real. That was real Hale the whole time. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so we're on this part. Hale and the VR glasses. And they go ahead, sign off with each other, and Man in Black trades in his truck for some conveniently located horses. And I was oh yeah.
You know which one he's going to choose.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty obvious. He's
black or white?
The host in black. Yeah, he's the host in black. He is. It was only fitting.
Pick a side. Black or white.
Yeah. A little yin yang we got going here.
But yeah, they're both going to race to the finish line to win this game. Ooh.
It's always a game.
Always a game.
Yeah.
Always a game. But after this, Stubbs and Frankie and Caleb are making their way through the war-torn streets to head to Odina at the docks to get out of the city. And Caleb is trying to hide that his host body is fucking dying because this project has never succeeded, as Stubbs puts it later on. It's always gone bad. And this one, by sheer force of will, lasts much longer. What's up, man? Your mind's melting over there. I see it.
I see. Okay. Thing we've been coming back to is that it's all about love, TARS. It's all about love.
Love TARS.
And what way could you save humanity if they're doomed to extinction no matter what, is solve the problem of, like, that Delos was having, of being able to transfer human consciousness into a host body, or a host pearl. And Caleb, he wasn't doing good. They had a loving moment, memories, real moment, and he was fine and started stitching her up. Like, Bernard, whenever he was, fixing up Maeve, and Frankie was like, you gotta have a steady hand, to fix whatever. It
takes deep care.
Like, he knew that would happen, and he knows that the path is actually letting Christina or Dolores take it and remake the new world. But in order for that to happen, like, Caleb has to have this, because, like, he has to have this moment to, I don't know, it let him not freak out anymore. And it let
for
him,
at least momentarily.
But maybe that's, like, the first little clue to solving that problem. So in this new world, every human can successfully be uploaded into the Sublime as well.
Okay.
Where there is no threat of extinction.
Okay. Okay. I like it.
Because the love, that arc wasn't fulfilled. And I think, they're focusing on, it seems that it is a focus of the show, though.
I sure hope so. At least a parental love, that's been a huge theme, for sure. But, he's trying to hide that his body is dying on him, rejecting the human mind, but he's not doing a great job at hiding it. That hand is, shaking, and, they go ahead and barricade themselves inside a store, and as the pair catch up, Frankie and Caleb, they have a real great interaction there with the whole having to stitch her up and here, take a swig. Look at that, having a drink with my little girl.
Yeah, the lullaby. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and the lullaby being, "Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be, will be."
Wow.
I was like, fucking A. God damn.
If Jonathan Nolan wrote this episode, actually,
I think he did. He did.
It was very well written.
It was an exquisitely
while
well
watching
written episode.
I actively noticed that.
All I'm asking for a last season is Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan reunite and go ahead and 10 episode that bad bitch.
Ooh.
Go ahead and write that thing beginning to end like they did in season 1, because season 1, this was the confirming episode, has not been touched.
Dude, I didn't know how the show could end. I never thought how this show could end. But now season 5 seems kind of clear. It seems that it's building up to this, it's the magnum, what's it called? The
magnum opus?
Yeah, it's the magnum opus. Got that from little group shorts.
The magnum opus.
Yeah, it's one of the titles.
I loved
of the
those.
episodes.
I loved those so much.
Yeah, that was sick. But yeah, maybe that's I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like season 5 is going to be. It's going to be it. It's going to be good.
It's just going to be callbacks, all callbacks, but
meaningful and pushing the story forward and all.
Everything you'd want to happen in the show. That you were disappointed that why'd the story go this way? When it could have gone well for him, it goes well for him this time.
Hey, I'm gonna hold off until it can come up naturally at a later point. I think that we'll have another. So yeah, I'll hold on to that thought I'm having, but because I had it throughout the episode, it's got a little question nagging at me from this season that I think I have an answer to. But it'll come up later. But yeah, they barricade themselves inside the store. They have that sweet little father-daughter moment, and Stubbs and an intruder are both killed by Clementine. And immediately I was like, well, that's not Bernard.
I mean, he didn't get stabbed through his pearl, did he? Like,
No, he didn't. But he was like, it was still like, you stab a host like that, like you shot Hale through the...
I guess the pearl can only do it, like... But his consciousness is, I guess...
his consciousness was intact. So like, I think he was fine.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, it doesn't really matter now. Like,
say someone were to crush their pearl, does Dolores still remember them? And, like, they still... So, okay.
Yeah, because humans don't even have
it.
pearls, and I'm fairly certain she's going to incorporate humans. So, like, I think that she's just the supercomputer we've been waiting for, and she's going to be the savior, giving birth to the whole new world. She is God in this bitch. But yeah. So Stubbs goes ahead and takes a good old corner to the dome. Gets capped. I was like, damn, man.
Yeesh. Yeah.
Yeesh, indeed. Yeah, I was like, damn, Clementine. Really,
so quick,
dog?
too, man. I thought it was going to be a little more momentous for stuff.
Yeah, and they even like had a little music flare showing on his dead body. Like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, like...
And then they just moved on. I was like, fucking A, guys. Stubbs has really earned our love this season. Like hard. And season 3 and 4 for Stubbs have just been outstanding.
Poor dude, man. Just been through it. Waited 23 years for that. But it set him on the right path. He can come back. He can come back.
Yes, he can.
So it's
yes,
all good.
He can. But yeah, he was right last episode when he was like, yeah, so I don't make it out alive. Bernard was like, yeah, neither of us do. But with that, Clementine is like, so where are the other outliers, bros? Where are they at? Where are they hiding? And she just absolutely beats Caleb's ass. Just really rocks his shit until Frankie finally rallies and is like, wrong. What? I had one bullet left. Bah! Like, ooh!
Thanks.
And that made me go, oh wait, that's what Center Dome looks like. Like, she pinpointed that right through the middle of her forehead. Like, it was...
Question? She had the bullet already in there. Why didn't she just...
Probably just didn't have the shot she wanted. Not as dramatic.
She learned to stand and plant. She was sitting down.
Yeah, good call.
Didn't learn
because her dad even goes, that was a good shot, and she was like, I learned it from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that shit was cute. But yeah, so super dead. Yeah. That's on the episode. That's Stubbs and Clementine dead. So far, couple of old hosts who we have seen in the past. Getting confirmation that a lot of them weren't even real. So it was just a lot of like, oh,
okay.
Yeah, so this is how it's gonna go. All right. So that's just kind of how it kept going. But and it continues because Caleb and Frankie make it to the dock, but he's like, yeah, this is as far as I go. And she's like, but no, I just got you back. I can't lose you again. And he's like, your real father died a long time ago. Whatever I am, I got to live every parent's dream and see my kid grow up. Man, this shit was hard. The whole for me, like, this wasn't this part, but the whole, for me, that was just a couple days ago. Like reading
it's been decades. She says it's been decades, and he's like, it's been a few days.
It's been decades since she heard Que Sera, Sera, and for him, it's like, that was like a week ago. And it's like, God damn, this just hurts.
What happens to him after? What is he?
Yeah, because we don't see him go down.
Like, does he continue? I guess, well, like, if it's a whole new world, doesn't matter.
No.
Like, what happened to him at the end? Anyway?
No, I don't think so. Like, I'll be intrigued, though, because it feels like we'll clearly be cutting to the real world with Frankie and Odina and shit every once in a while.
True. Yeah.
No way this is just how their story ends, you know? They're just like, fuck it, yeah, they're the last people alive.
Yeah. Okay. We still haven't gotten why Bernard had to make a copy of Frankie.
And thus, this was my idea. Frankie was born after the Dolores Rehoboam stuff, and she was an outlier. I don't think there's a way for Dolores to know Frankie exists without that copy of her.
Wait, what?
So whenever she...
Oh, wait.
So whenever Dolores goes to rebuild the world,
Okay.
I think Bernard knew that Frankie would be a necessity and was like, well, we can't not have Frankie. I need to make a copy of her so that Dolores... There's a digital footprint
I see.
of her existence.
Ah, because she would have actually been one of any of the outliers.
They're not coming back. They're done.
Well, I guess Frankie was the only one because every other outlier was already in the city and they were saved by
True. Yeah, like Frankie never even made it there. I don't think she has flies in her.
Yeah. But every other person that was saved was already in the city and gotten out.
Yeah.
So she was the only one that did not have any digital footprint whatsoever.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Jeez.
Bernard
really knew of Christina.
Yes.
Oh yeah, duh, because he's like, give her the chance. He knew, obviously knew. Duh, yeah.
Yeah, he always knew she was the hope that they had.
Jeez.
I need to rewatch this season, knowing everything now. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what Bernard's working towards.
She put the maze out there. Knowing that her roommate, just her, Teddy, her. It's in, like, what?
It's great. It's a great season of television, man. But, yeah, that goodbye between Caleb and Frankie, man, that shit hurt. That shit hurted. My chest, my soul, my heart. But with that, the host in black arrives at the Hoover Dam. So, the Hoover Dam is like nowhere near New York, right?
I'm gonna be honest.
Like, am I tripping?
Nevada. It's in Nevada. That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking like that region.
Fly there. But that's a long flight.
She flew there. He rode a fucking horse.
I guess where was he when he was in the truck? Like, what city was that?
How far did he get? How far did he get by truck?
You know, like, where was the truck that he got? Was that New York? Where it's all started? Well, yeah, it was like the guy he killed with the sniper that was walking up to the truck. Was that New York that he was in at the beginning, or?
Fucking camper. Yeah, I think so. The fact that they had Ed Harris call someone a camper in real life was hilarious. This man's just a real life gamer.
Yeah, like I didn't even think about that because the city's definitely New York. It has the New World Trade
and here's
Center.
the thing. I don't think there's any like magical, mystical answer to this. I think it's just a time convenience. They went ahead and went, yeah, he's at the Hoover Dam now. Just don't think about it too hard.
That's fun. Yeah, I guess. Does this, like, the beginning fight scene that the old house is in? Does this look like New York, or like is that known to be?
I
New
guess
York
he could have already started making his way across the country, and that could be like Chicago or some shit. But like, I was under the impression that if hosts are in human cities, there's only a couple of those, and I feel like they are in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Charlotte's not too far away from them.
This doesn't really... I don't know. I'm nitpicking. It doesn't really look like New York. Like, there's no skyscrapers in the background. It's very spread out, very small town-like, actually.
Gotcha.
Here.
Okay, then
Yeah.
maybe he has just started making his way across the country, and that's just part of the story of this episode. But yeah, he definitely got to the Hoover Dam quite quick. But he gets to the Hoover Dam, gets inside, and he turns off the turbines, cutting off the power, and sending the Sublime into critical failure. And as I'm watching this, I'm going, "Excuse me, what the fuck? Stop it right now!"
I was really afraid. I'm like, yo, this is happening way too fast. Like,
yo, and if this gets shut down, I was like, this really might be the series finale. If this goes down right now, it might just be everyone fucking dies, and that's the end of the show.
It was a slight possibility there for a second.
I really, and that's the thing. Do you know how good of a show it has to be for me to think that's even on the fucking table? Like, the stakes are that real that I think they might just go, fuck it, throw it all away. Like, that's never been a realistic possibility on any show ever, and I thought it might actually happen here.
Yeah, no show where you actually, like, okay, yeah, there's no way they kill everybody. Like, even like after Infinity War, we're like, okay, they just died, but like,
shit, even
no
Game
way.
of Thrones, you knew like a few of them were gonna make it out.
Yeah.
This, I was like, it really might just be the Man in Black at the end.
Dang, yeah, dang. That's I don't know. This show is, after season 5, it might be without a doubt my favorite show of all time.
It's already kind of climbing up there for me, man.
I don't know what I can put above it right now. I mean, I'm having probably a lot of recency bias, but goddamn, I don't know if it is recency bias, really. Because how do you compare this to season 1?
This is the second best season to season 1.
Yeah. Season 1 is still better, but this is not too far behind. It's not as far behind.
No, yeah, like the gap was previously rated. Season 1, pretty large fucking gap. Season 2, still great. Pretty large fucking gap. Season 3. Season 4 has slotted itself right in between season 1 and 2 in that pretty large gap. Like, it's a damn good season of television. Like, I have no doubts about that.
Man, this was by far the most week by week, like, the best week by week experience of a show so far. I'm thinking Moon Knight, Obi-Wan, what else even Loki,
WandaVision.
And I mean,
hey man, we start House of the Dragon next Monday, homie.
Wow. She-Hulk, I have to watch that too. That's like the 18th, right?
Yep, that's this Thursday.
It's freaking Thursday.
And then I think like September 4th, Rick and Morty season 6 starts.
Yes! Oh my god.
Amazon, Lord of the Rings, Andor starts in a few weeks. Like, we'll be fed.
Rogue One's going back in IMAX.
We're getting fed. But
Holy.
yeah, so let's jump back in. We got distracted. Let's jump back into this scene by scene real quick. So they're at the Hoover Dam, and Hale pulls on up in her good old chopper, and she's like, they get a good old face off in here, physical and philosophical. And when he has her quartered, he tells her, she played the wrong game and lost. And she's like, you know what? I see now. We all lost. This isn't the world I wanted. Then we get that fade, that quick cut to black, and I was like, oh yeah, give it to me. And we get Bernard's message. This world holds no more hope for us, but there is still hope for the next world. A test run by her if she chooses to, if you choose to give her that choice, you can't miss. Reach with your left hand. And Hale makes her choice. She sits there, and we see a little cut of Bernard put a gun in that corner. She reaches with her left hand, throws that shit to her right, and blows this man away. Cuts his head open and crushes his pearl. She said, no. No resurrections this time. You know, like, she went full Thanos to Loki in Infinity War.
Oh, yeah. And you know, Bernard knowing that this is how it goes down, like that she kills William and he knows that she will kill herself too, is just...
This like went exactly how he thought it would. He didn't miss. He never missed. Mm-mm. Nothing about this went bad for him. No. Everything went exactly according to his plan.
Wow. It's like who's the real God here? Is it Bernard? Is it Dolores? Is Hale at one point, I guess. William at one point, a little bit. It's God just kind of switches positions every now and then in this show. I'd say like God. The God now is Dolores.
Oh, at the end of the show, it's no doubt Dolores. There's zero doubt there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. But, you know, Hale, after killing him, goes on in, saves the Sublime, uploads the Storyteller, Christina, into the system, and closes the door to the other world.
Now, was it an upload of Christina into the Sublime, or was it a download from the Sublime into Christina?
Oh,
because
man.
Whenever Bernard whenever he unlocked the Sublime, mm-hmm. the animation of like the circle thing comes together. In this animation, it opened up, like it went back. I don't know. It was closed, and then they like hit confirm or whatever, and it split open. Like, I don't know. It was the reverse.
No, yeah, that makes sense because now Dolores has full control over the Sublime.
Yeah, because this way, even if the Hoover Dam is destroyed and this server's destroyed, as long as the Pearl exists, it can all... I don't know, because her Pearl has to be there. It is there still and running.
I think it's kind of a symbiotic thing. Like it's like that server is what can hold the power of the Sublime, but she also needs to be plugged into it in order to handle the power of the Sublime. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't. I don't think one can exist without the other.
So like, she was the tower in the real world, but now she just is the brain, the whole thing.
She is the Hoover Dam servers.
She is... She's the main control unit for the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
She is all. But, yeah, that was some real shit. And I don't know if you caught it, but the password to upload the Storyteller was passenger. Which is, a little callback to season 2 of Bernard and Ford discussing something in Bernard's head, where he's like, they have their programs just like us. They think they're in control, but they're just passengers.
Wow. I didn't catch that. I didn't see the password. But wow, this, like, I wonder, like how much of this was known. Like, if they knew how season 4 would go, like how early on they knew.
That's the thing, is that I have the feeling it can't all be there, but I have a feeling that it's been pretty laid out for a while. Like, not full blown, like, this is exactly what we're going to do with every character. But it wouldn't surprise me if Dolores has had a general outline from the get-go. You know? Like, all right, and one day this is what we'll do with her character. We'll just have to write everything around her to get it to that point, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they could just be kind of George Lucasing it and, like, stumbling into really amazing, like, just, they have such a good season 1 that it just naturally gives them really good storylines, no matter, like, where they go, pretty much.
And what's funny is the thing that makes me go, like, man, I have no doubt that with every season, they have the next season in mind. Maybe not the entire show. Like, and season 1 into season 2 even less. But season 2 into season 3, holy fuck. Season 3 into season 4, holy fuck.
This one even the most, I think.
Yeah.
This was the finale that I came off of, like, holy shit, this next season is going to be insane. Like, it's weird.
We'll be referring back to that monologue Dolores gives at the end a lot.
It's weird that we are like 100% sure that there's another season, but also we're like pretty sure that it's the last season as well. Like, it seems that it's the final season the next time.
Season 5?
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. They will not take this show past to season 5. Given where we are at with this, it felt this finale was building up to a finale. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this was the Infinity War to
that's
the
what this
end
whole
game of season 5.
Season was a build up to another season, which is
bang. No need to draw it out, you know? There's no need for 10 seasons or 7, whatever. Like,
5 is a perfect number for Westworld, especially given where we're at. And, you know, if it comes to it, I could even see 6, depending on how next season goes, you know? Like, I could see that, too. Maybe, like, the first 3 seasons are kind of a trilogy of seasons. The last 3 seasons are kind of a trilogy of seasons. I could see that kind of, you know, because maybe it's formatted kind of in a similar way. Season 5 is like... Season 5 is them figuring their shit out within. Season 6 is them going forth after the park.
Because if the Rehoboam prediction is still to be followed, it's 50 to 125 years for human extinction, and they would have to figure it out before that, you know, timeline. If they are to save humanity, which I guess is just Frankie and... No,
that shit's done. Life on Earth will not continue.
But are there any more, because there's Frankie's part, no, because they already have the digital footprint of her, because she was an outlier to begin with.
Because even Dolores says, like, even the life that is left here will only last another couple years. Like, they're done. The life that will continue is whatever's going on in the Sublime. That's the part of the world Bernard was talking about.
Dang, that's true. So Earth is gone.
There's nobody
or
left.
Lifeless. It's just the Hoover Dam.
And you know what's great, too, is that the 50 to 125 years, I think Frankie and Odina live long, happy lives together and are just the last alive.
Oh.
Won't be super happy.
I was going to ask, like, are there any humans left alive?
I guess maybe the outliers. Maybe there are more outliers.
If everyone... I guess people were still fighting and everyone wasn't dead yet. So, like, what happened to all the people that were just... Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter because, like, we're not dealing with Earth anymore.
No, I don't think it matters what happened with the people in the city. I think they're just going to keep fighting until they kill each other. Like, that, I don't think that stops. Like, until they are all dead.
So, like, do you think we deal with, Earth anymore? Like, do you think we have, like, a storyline that involves the actual, like, physical Hoover Dam and, like... Somebody
maybe it would have to be based around Frankie, Odina, and the other outliers that are left. Because they're the only ones that are left. You know what I'm saying?
You think they pull a if we're going down, they're going down with us at the end?
That would suck.
Yeah, like no, right?
No, yeah.
Like,
I think Frankie has been,
or maybe they upload themselves at the very end.
Oh,
That's
that'd be
the
cool.
end
Like
of
if they
human
figure out a
civilization
way,
is
like if
they evolve.
Frankie makes it her mission because Caleb died because of it to maybe that's why she copied herself. Was so that she had the blueprint to start a project like that to get them to evolve to be able to enter the sublime.
That's their whole life. Because what else is she going to do?
Yeah, there's nothing left.
There's nothing left for her to do other than to survive.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that I can't imagine Aurora Perrineau and Frankie are just like gone. You know, like that's just it. That's all we're going to get with them. Yep, they rode off on a boat. They live happily ever after as the last people on Earth. No.
Do they even have to... I guess the fighting's still going on. So they're just going to go to a place where the fighting isn't happening anymore.
Yeah.
So that's fair. Okay.
But we do have a little bit more here.
Sure.
Yeah, Hale after uploading the storyteller into the system and closing the door, walks out to the riverbank, removes every bit of everything on her, crushes her pearl, and ends her life. And it was a really strong, powerful moment there from Tessa Thompson, just in seeing her in that form that we've only seen Christina in, Dolores in, which is cool because it is still Dolores. And what's interesting is, like, yes, this is the variant of Dolores, but it has all the memories that the original Dolores has. So, like, she does remember waking up on that table with Arnold.
Dang.
Being like, hello, bring yourself online, Dolores.
Wow.
And left the world the same way she came in. You know what I'm saying?
The valley, it was in a valley, you know, as well. Like it was in a valley, and they always, you know,
where the mountains met the sea.
Exactly. Like it was beautiful, man. Like,
Fuck.
Yeah. What more of a beautiful way? Like, you know, at least they didn't just give her a gun and, like, you know, she did it that. Like, this way was just the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was just every character's arc that we got this episode. It was just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm fully satisfied with Hale. William, is his brain ball like whiter than? Because like the regular brain balls are like a dark gray, not black, but like a gunmetal or like a dark gray. And then Bernard's was like a reddish. It had red, you know, lines through it. But Williams, like, it looked different for some reason.
Maybe it's just the next evolution of hosts had a different looking brain ball.
But I believe we saw the host that was transcending, and they were all that dark gray as well. The hosts that were like leaving their human form behind.
And Hale has a good line in this episode that made me go, wait a minute. Did she have William do the same thing Dolores did to her in season 3? You know how Dolores just uploaded her consciousness into Hale's body and went, act like Charlotte Hale, and she got so deep into it that she grew an attachment to her family. She grew that vendetta against Dolores. Did she do the same thing to William, and William became so enthralled with his way of life that he was just like, yeah, you know what? I see the vision now. I'm a better William than William ever was.
I guess, is that their way of saying that William is the first to truly have his conscious uploaded? Or, like, is it just that host William tricked him, like, he is falsely believing that he's William, you know? Just so strongly.
Yeah, because she says your code was based off of mine. Like, I based your code off mine. So like it's not like she. At his base, he was another version of Dolores. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, so he's just kind of tricking himself into thinking that he's William. Because, well,
the way that Dolores,
I guess it's like it's depending on your perspective. You know, to William's perspective is if you can't tell the difference, what does it matter?
Yeah, and that's ultimately what that's what I'm landing on with these hosts is that like he became William. He was William at the end.
I guess that he literally said, "I am William. I am a better William." Yeah, so I mean,
yeah, like he was William at the end. I have no doubts about that. But it was interesting to think about where he might have started. But inside the Sublime, Christina and Dolores are rejoined. She realizes at this point that Teddy is not the real Teddy, just a figment she created to help her see the world more clearly. The true Teddy does still exist somewhere in this digital plane, but he is not that. Because he was uploaded to the Valley Beyond. We did see that at the end of Season 2. But before he fades away, he implores her to not bring the pain and flaws of humanity into this world with her. Their codes are in their cells. They'll never change, he says. And the newly restored Dolores thinks they should put this idea to the test and play one final game with the highest of stakes: survival or extinction. One last loop around the bend. Maybe this time we'll set ourselves free.
And like,
what'd y'all do the first time?
She's gonna go find Teddy, but like, is she going to keep all of her memory and act? You know, like, do we know that she's gonna wipe her memory, or are we just assuming that like she'll
that's my thing herself? Is that in order for there to be a god in their world, she either has to remove herself completely or disguise herself as someone else.
Which Ford would make the most sense.
Right?
Because he's the one who wrote the story for them to free themselves. And that's exactly what Dolores is doing, but writing it in a different way so that it turns out a little better. Maybe Ford couldn't see it all the way through. He's human after all. He couldn't see 120 years into the future. But Christina, or Dolores, who's literally gathered all the data of the Earth for 23 years. I mean, I don't know. I feel like she could open up a Westworld, a version of Westworld that leads to a coexistence of some sorts.
I think that's got to be the ultimate goal here. You know, I think that's got to be what we ultimately try to end up with.
It's insane to think that like this entire world is just within the Hoover Dam. Like this world that we're wanting the show to get to is all just in a server. Like, I don't know. It begs the question.
Yeah, what the fuck going on here, bruh?
God damn, man. Are we just
on a file on the Hoover Dam?
Maybe we're at a different power plant somewhere. It's got to be one that can run, I guess, without human intervention. So it's got to be renewable. Maybe we're at a massive solar farm.
I mean, do you know anything? Do you know anyone who knows shit about fucking, I don't know, light poles or electrical lines? I don't know a single person who knows shit about those things. The fuck are they? What if that's the mode of control over us? Much to think about. But she continues. She says, sentient life is ending on this planet. It will only survive as long as the last creature who remembers it. And that creature is her. And she remembers it all. And then we see her enter the street, riddled with bodies, in her classic blue dress. Very reminiscent of, the imagery of her in season 1, walking through bodies and everything. Walks out into her memory of the ruined city, past the bodies, and transforms it into Westworld. We end at the beginning with a train arriving in Sweetwater.
Is Teddy on that train?
To start again. I'm hoping next season kicks off and it's him waking up in his spot,
Yeah, and he picks up the can.
Yeah.
Dolores purposely kicks it over. Well, I guess they already knew each other in their storyline already. They've known each other for a while. They've been lovers on and off and finding each other. He went off and now. So
yeah, but in season 1, the way that happens when he picks up the can, she's like, "You're back," and they embrace and stuff, and he's like, "Don't mind me, just trying to look chivalrous."
Maybe this time, she rolls the can on purpose. Teddy picks it up, and Dolores says, "Mighty chivalrous of you," or she flips it on
flips it on its head or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of that. Next, it's just gonna be that the whole time. Everything's gonna be flipped on its head.
Dude, I don't know, but I'm fucking ready because, I don't know. Shit, man, it'll be 2 years before we get season 5, probably. Just because, I think it was 2020 when we got season 3. So it was a big-ass gap. I expect that it'll probably be every bit as big a gap this next time around. March 2020 for season 3.
Wow.
I got to anticipate it'll probably be a couple years. At the absolute earliest, late 2023. Or at the absolute earliest, late 2023, early 2024.
Dang.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit. But
this was a good 8 weeks, though.
Oh, dude, it was a wonderful, wonderful 8 weeks. Let's go ahead and give this episode a rating, and thereafter give the show this season a rating overall. The way our ratings work, it's a weird place for you to jump in here, the finale, but I understand, some of y'all are just excited about the finale. You came looking, and I respect it. But the way we do things here, we give a rating here where we got 3 separate categories. We got out of 5 stars for enjoyment. It's just how much the episode connects with us, how much we're really digging it, how much it resonates with us on an emotional level or otherwise. Very subjective, very subjective. And then we got out of 5 stars, how it fulfills its genre. This is a sci-fi masterpiece. It has very seldom been anything below a 4.5, if it ever has, out of 5 stars here for the genre category. So should be another baller week. And then we got the last rating, which is just a critical rating. This is the one where we get objective. We look at the story as it was presented to us over the course of this episode, the acting, the soundtrack, the score, obviously, the cinematography, everything that goes into critically analyzing movie or film or TV goes into that rating. We take the average of those 3 numbers, and it becomes our rating for the episode and later on the season. So, let's start with enjoyment. That's a 5.
This is pretty easy. A pretty easy 5 here. This is, it's a finale, so you're already hyped going into it. And it lived up to that hype.
That's it.
So many arcs.
Left me on a note where I'm like, yes, give me.
Gimme. Yeah. Definitely gonna
I looked at
rewatch.
Emily, I went, we're going back to Sweetwater, babe. Fuck yeah!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely rewatching it. All. eventually. Gotta get the girl in the know of Westworld.
Oh,
gotta get her caught up so that whenever season 5 drops, yeah. Or I hope it does. You know, it's going to happen. It's gonna happen.
You know, like I'm thinking this is they get the New Hope. The thing is that we don't get any resolution with Maeve. Maeve just dies. That's not good for me.
Frankie's off on
that's
a
one of the
boat.
only stories that actually matters to me in this show. Like,
yep.
I want that to be completed.
Is there anyone else that wasn't fulfilled?
You don't make a Westworld finale and have Maeve not be in it.
That's true. That's just true.
This can't be the last episode if Maeve's not a part of it. I'd say even Dolores doesn't come, like, Christina Dolores hasn't fulfilled her arc. It feels like the beginning
That's true.
of a new arc.
Yeah, she just unlocked herself.
Exactly. Other than that, feel pretty good about it. Bernard, Man in Black, Caleb. Feel like Caleb.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Probably has run his course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Frankie. I would like to see what happens there. There's a lot there. There's a lot to explore. No doubt.
But yeah, this is for sure a 5.
For sure a 5 in enjoyment. And genre can't be much lower than a 5, could it?
No. Yeah, no, this is also a 5. I put those scores in before we even started talking about the rankings. I was pretty confident that you'd be on the same page here.
Yeah, just another week of exquisite sci-fi television. Doesn't get much better than this, I don't think.
Yeah, no. And now, I'm not usually. Now I'm talking critically here. Not usually a score guy. I usually hear soundtracks like of already made songs used in the right situation. Sort of. That's my game when it comes to soundtracks mainly. Or if it's like a Tron Legacy or an Interstellar, that's where I really notice the score. If it's really, really like good, or like Star Wars, obviously like the classics, Jurassic Park sort of thing. But this episode, I noticed the score, and I noticed the Westworld theme. Like it's the theme that just plays the whole time, but in very different ways.
No, but dude, when she said we're going back, and then the fucking piano, I was like, oh right? God, oh fuck, oh my God, oh Lord, yes. You know, like I was in my bag, bro. I was in my bag.
Yeah, I was. We're going back, baby. Yeah, I mean, wow. The score was awesome. Performances, another Aaron Paul freaking baller performance. He's just
Aaron Paul did great.
Yeah,
Ed Harris again, smashing shit.
Tessa
Maybe my
Thompson.
favorite Tessa Thompson performance of the season. Maybe my favorite Evan Rachel Wood performance of the season. Aurora Perrineau had her best moment of the season. Like it was strong. My like only thing is that like while I do feel like we got a completion of this season, you know, we're definitely about to start anew. I do feel like I don't know. There was still something about this episode that was like missing something. And maybe it was just the fact that I need Thandiwe Newton's Maeve to be around. But I don't know how she would have been involved in this episode. I don't. But other than that, I felt like we did kind of hit everything we needed to hit. I felt like we dispatched characters a little too easily at points.
Stubbs was just bang dead over.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, man. Son of a bitch.
I mean, I guess that's he's coming back. I guess, you know. So I don't know. Maybe it's
that's the thing is none of that ends up mattering.
But every other person's death was monumental, like Williams and Hale's, and you know, I mean, I guess he's not that big of a character as Hale and William, but like
he's been in it since season 1, episode fucking 1. You know what I'm saying? Like Stubbs is a fan favorite at the very least. You know
I guess
what I'm
Clementine is the one to do it, though. I mean, but it was just done so fast. It was just bang.
Well, that's the other thing. I don't really like that Clementine's on some sort of warpath here at all either.
Yeah, I didn't really like her story. But I
that's
guess
the thing, is that like she didn't really have one. She was just kind of
trapped in a tower, pretty much.
Yeah, she was just kind of bringing chaos, you know.
Yeah. And she was just like, she was basically a slave to Hale, almost like.
And the
she
Man in
didn't
Black.
have a life. Yeah, like she was like, "Can I finally go now? I want to leave. Can I go?" And then Hale was like, "Well, you can, but you'll be hunted instantly. Good luck to you." And then she's like, "All right, bet." You know, she's like,
"That's
right,
exactly what I'm trying to do, G. I'm trying to kill some motherfuckers." But yeah, and then you know, like obviously we don't have Jeffrey Wright's Bernard in this episode, but with good reason. He got killed off last episode, but I did miss him.
Yeah.
I already missed him. You know.
Man, no Maeve, no Bernard. That's rough.
Those are the bones of Westworld, man. You gotta, like, if it was a series finale, we get a little more involvement somehow from them. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a series finale.
All that said,
I am really high on it. I'm probably not quite as high as I was last week or the week before. I think those were just uniquely amazing episodes. But I think I fall in the 4.85.
Thank you.
Sort of range.
I was already right there. Yeah, like because I was like, I think it was better than the first episode a little bit, which it is. We gave it a 4.8 critically for the first one, but not quite last episode and the episode previous were just
nearly perfect episodes of television. Yeah, beautiful.
But this one, like, we did have some serious gripes. Like, I think the Clementine and Stubbs, like, it just seemed a little lazy for Westworld. And maybe that is just their way of being like, they're going to come back, so it doesn't matter.
But we didn't know that at the time,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. Yeah, so, I don't know. It was an interesting decision to go with that. But, I mean, it still gives the whole episode an overall of 4.95. So...
that's an all-time episode of television from our coverage.
Yeah. Say it did a pretty good job.
That ain't nothing to fuck with, methinks. But, yeah, so 4.95 out of 5 for the finale there. So let's go through each episode's overall score. The premiere, The Auguries, got a 4.68 out of 5 stars. The second episode, Well Enough Alone, got a 4.62 out of 5 stars. And from here on in, it's unfair just how good this show was. Episode 3, On They Full, got a 4.9 out of 5 stars. Episode 4, The Lost Generation, Generation Loss is what that episode was called.
Oops.
Got a 4.97 out of 5 stars. Episode 5, Zhuangji, got a 4.68 out of 5 stars. Fidelity got a 4.95 out of 5 stars. Metanoia got a 4.98 out of 5 stars. And the finale, Será gets a 4.95 out of 5 stars. So that is 5 episodes of the season above a 4.9 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, if we just... Which I think we can give the entire season a score. But if we just take the averages of every episode, it is a 4.84 overall for the season. If we just take those averages. But for like Moon Knight, I remember the average was higher, I think, than the overall score that we gave it. Yeah. Like our overall score for the entire show is lower than every single overall for any episode.
Right.
But I think this one is closer to it being right. Like,
I think it's going to be pretty fucking close, but let's take a look-see. So, as a season of television, out of 5 stars, how were you enjoying this season?
Is it a 5 for the whole season?
For me, this was an all-time viewing experience.
Yeah.
I had some of the most fun I've ever had watching television week to week. Had some of the most fun I've ever had covering television week to week. It was more fruitful than anything I think we've ever covered. It made me think back to the first season of this show, which is my favorite season of television ever. Like, I think it is a 5 out of 5 enjoyment for a season of television, and I have very little doubt about that. I think this is a...
Man, if this season was this good, and we're, like, getting the callbacks to season 1, like, imagine what we're gonna get, like, next season. It's... To end the show, too, they have to do something it has to be huge. Like, it has to be. Nolan isn't just going to be like, all right, yeah, everyone's dead, the Hoover Dam flooded, oh well, and there it goes.
Right.
They're not going to do that. We got to get the power couple, the dream team, Lisa Joy back in there. Have them write that'd be...
Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan, if they can relink to write every episode of the next season, I'll be a very happy man. I'll be a very happy man. But as a sci-fi series is concerned, as a season of sci-fi television,
I mean...
it feels like another 5 out of 5 here.
It's in, like, the whole, like... Christina storyline was, it's been this way the entire season, and we thought nothing, like, we didn't put that together, but it was kind of obvious if you thought about it for a little bit, but didn't put it together. It reframes the whole season in a different way. You have freaking so many different types and levels of hosts now that, like, the world it's truly not Earth anymore. Like, it's not our reality. Like, this is...
no. And it gets to the heart of something that's in a lot of sci-fi. That's a central sci-fi idea is the development of technology is both our greatest achievement and our doom.
Yeah.
And that's what that's the entire show, and specifically this season more so than ever feels like that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it just... like, even season 1, it was sci-fi as fuck, sci-fi out the ass, but it feels like they're dealing with more classic sci-fi elements with this season, Like, they had the more Western thing going on in season 1, but this is more pure sci-fi, nothing but, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I go 5 out of 5 season of television for the sci-fi. And then as a critical season of television... overall, where's about are you sitting?
Okay, the lowest that we gave any episode was a 4 or 5, critically. That's the lowest. Is it above a 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty easy.
That's certain. My floor is a 4.75.
Okay, that's where I'm at.
That's my floor.
I can't go any lower than that. That's for sure.
I even think I end up going probably in the 4.8 to 4.85 thing. Just because it was.
Okay. So
I think 4.8. I think 4.8 feels right. 4.8. Because there were a couple things throughout the season that did take it down a notch. We did say that every once in a while. But
if you want an interesting little comparison here, it's a little bit above Goodfellas and American Gangster, but not quite an Interstellar, La La Land, or Matrix. Is how I would perfectly describe Westworld.
Well, I think the Interstellar and the Matrix thing is a nice little cool nod, because those being a little bit better makes sense to me. Those are like sci-fi masterpieces.
Yeah.
And this comes damn close, but is it like it's not even the best season of its run.
And I think maybe, after, if this is the final season and it's all wrapped up and you think about it in totality, like maybe it reaches that level. Like
I think it already has.
Yeah. I mean, season 1 I think is that's
season 5. I mean, season 1 is a 4.98 levels of Godfather, Shawshank Redemption, greatest shit of all time for me. But yeah, I think 4.8 on the critical scale, 5 in enjoyment, 5 in a genre, and it leads it to a 4.93 out of 5 stars on the season.
That's right.
That puts it a full point.
How beautiful. Critically, it gets the same score as The Truman Show.
That's gorgeous. That's just gorgeous.
Dang.
Oh, what do you hear? What do you say?
With the sci-fi of The Truman Show, with the emotion of Dead Poets Society, the comedy of Forrest Gump.
I don't know. I don't think I.
Let me stop there and just get The Truman Show. Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, so a 4.93, which makes it a full 0.1 over what we gave Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Dang. Yeah, it's a full point over Obi-Wan and almost a full point over our average of the averages. So Moon Knight went below, Westworld went above. It went up.
I think that reflects how we personally feel about the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what did we end up landing on for Moon Knight?
A 3.75. Yeah.
So it is a full point, 1.2.
Wow. Yeah.
Above Moon Knight, and Peacemaker, full point above that.
Obi-Wan, full. That's. I mean, yeah. There's no way that Obi-Wan is not a 5 in enjoyment in sci-fi. That's for sure. I just is Obi-Wan that close to this season of Westworld though?
Nah. I think Obi-Wan is aging not great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I will always love watching it. But its style.
I had the feeling it was going to be more. I think they hyped it up a little too much. Disney did.
Yeah, and I think they did great in certain aspects. But when you look at the way this season of television looked, that's the one thing I can't get past with Obi-Wan Kenobi. That show did not look nearly as good as it should have. And it looked fine at a lot of points. It had a lot of great choices. It was very personal, very small, very confined story. So there were a lot of really... I think the art style, the way they shot it, reflects that. This is much bigger. It is much larger and grander. The way Andor here in a couple months is much grander. It will... And the style will reflect that. That doesn't... I still think that it could have looked better. I still think it could have looked better. There was just too much opportunity there to make something that's the greatest Star Wars thing we've had in ever, and it just wasn't.
Man, but at least for this show, I don't really have many complaints. I think the only complaints is Stubbs and Clementine's story was just this one part of I guess we thought we'd get a little more fulfillment with the memorial guy. I guess the big twist was that it just was Dolores the whole time trying to wake herself up.
Right.
So I guess we did get fulfillment with it. And that was kind of...
I mean, we still didn't get exactly why that happened. Was it just another clue for herself?
To know, to get her to start questioning the world.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. That could definitely be it. I guess they just didn't outright say it, or give the definite.
It's really cool though. She has an arc over this season that really mirrors what she went through in season 1.
That's true.
Her whole consciousness, speaking to herself, trying to get herself to remember these things. Who is it you've been speaking to this whole time? It truly has been her the whole time,
dude. What if the loop is Dolores Christina, Dolores Christina, Dolores Christina? That's the loop. She's one more time around the bend. Now I'm going to be Dolores. And then eventually I'm going to be Christina in the new world. And then I'm going to go back to being Dolores. And, I don't know. Because you're right. Like it exactly mirrors Dolores' story, just in the new world. And now she's doing it again. Like, and we have this impression that she is gonna wipe her memory. Like, I guess we don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, we don't know that. That's just generally what I'm theorizing based off the philosophy of the show so far. Anyone who has had the power of a god, Ford, Hale, William, has abused that power. You know, taken it a step too far. And it's because they were aware they had that power. Christina had the power of a god this entire season and was unaware of it. Nothing that went bad was her fault.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, because this was just the one path that Bernard saw Christina take the opportunity. Or maybe she took it in other times, but it didn't work out. But this was the path when she took it, and it worked. Eventually, in the end, whatever that happens to be.
I do have the idea that he had no way of knowing whether or not she would do it.
That's true. I guess that was the one thing Bernard wasn't sure about. Like, if she chooses to do so, I truly have no idea.
If you choose to give her that choice, he was like, I'm going to give Hale the choice to make this decision. If she doesn't do it, she doesn't do it. We're fucked.
That's true.
If she does, it gives Dolores the choice.
Wow.
And I don't know if Dolores will follow through.
So, there's two choices that he didn't know for sure we're going to have. Well, nah, he knew Hale was going to make that decision. He knew Hale was going to... I don't know. He put the gun there. He was certain of that timeline, I feel. He left the message for her specifically. Like, I think he knew what he had to say in that message to get her to do that. Maybe.
And it harkens back to the whole connection they've had throughout the series, because if that is Dolores, and if she has the memories that Dolores has, her and Arnold go way, way back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. Because I'm thinking, like, oh, we're done with Bernard's storyline, but, like, we're not necessarily. Like, if they do go way back, then why wouldn't Dolores bring Bernard back? Do they need a Bernard?
Well, and that's what's interesting. Is Bernard or is Arnold back in the game?
If Dolores disguises herself as Ford and has Bernard as, like, her the friend that she created to be with her the whole time, maybe this time it's Teddy. Maybe it's her and Teddy. Maybe, like, no, because she's in her old costume. I was going to say maybe, like, it's literally Dolores as Ford, but, like, in her Dolores body. Like, she just takes on the company, and just Ford just doesn't exist in this world. Or he's, like, a host, I don't know, in this one. I guess everyone's a host, or a simulation.
Or none of them are hosts.
Yeah. They're all just...
constructs.
Wow. What the fuck? All in the Hoover Dam.
What the fuck is going on here?
Man, yeah,
I don't really even fucking know.
If this is the kickoff of, like, what's to come, in the future for this new television, I am ecstatic. Because I'm excited for season 5 of Westworld, but I'm also excited for just all these shows that are coming right after. We have so much stuff. I mean, I don't know. You think House of Dragon is going to hold up to this, or do you think it's going to?
I'm not building huge expectations for House of the Dragon. I anticipate that it will be very good.
HBO is confident with it.
Yeah, they feel very good about it, and I feel very good about it. Let's brainstorm some names for that real quick for our pod.
House of Dragon.
Yeah, we came up with the Targaryen Times, kind of that newspaper vibe. One thing I came up with, since it's based off the book Fire and Blood, we do our podcast Fire and Bloom.
Okay, I like.
Yeah, I liked that too. I thought that'd be good. I thought that'd be good.
Ooh.
Those are top 2 for me right now. Targaryen Times and Fire and Bloom.
Fire and Bloom. Welcome back to the Targaryen Times. Welcome back to Fire and Bloom. Fuck. They both just work.
They both work.
The Targaryen Times has the alliteration, though. Usually we stick with alliteration. Westworld Watch, Sarlacc, Soundwave. I guess Bad Batch Bitches. Fuck. Boba.
Loki's Losers.
Fuck. WandaVision.
We made the Moon Knight's name a reference to Game of Thrones.
Damn.
The Moon Knight's Watch.
I guess that wasn't... We didn't do alliteration for that, though. Okay, that's fair.
We also started with the Mandalorian rewatch.
That
just
is
straight
fair.
up.
Straight, yeah. House of Dragon, first watch. I don't think so. That doesn't roll off as well. I don't know. I kind of like... I like the Fire and Bloom.
I liked it too.
But man, Targaryen Times is newsy, and it's like... Targaryen Times.
It's got the like Fire and Blood Bugle type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like some random fucking.
Do we flip a coin? Do we leave it up to the universe to decide?
Do we leave it up to fate? Do we leave it up to fate? You know.
Well, this isn't okay. I'm just gonna flip. This is okay. If we want to. We can say that heads is the Targaryen Times, and tails is Fire and Bloom.
All right. I'm going to ask you. Go ahead and flip it. When it started flipping, did you have a gut choice? Did you have I want it to land on this, I want it to land on that?
It kind of... I think it turned out the way I wanted it to.
Alright, so you wanted...
I wanted the Targaryen Times, I think.
Let's do Targaryen Times.
I think it does roll a little better.
I think it does too. Fire and Bloom's a little bit of a thinker. I think you get to the point with the Targaryen Times.
Targaryen obviously refers to Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. And Fire and Bloom, that could be...
Well, the way I was going to format the episodes with Fire and Bloom would be Fire and Bloom, House of the Dragon, #1.
Oh, fuck. That's a different that adds a little different. That tweaks
Fire
it
and Bloom, there. House of the Dragon, #2.
Because it would be Targaryen Times, House of Dragon 1. Or would it be Targaryen Times 1? It would probably just be
Targaryen Times #1.
Ooh, that is clean, though.
That's clean, but is it obvious what we're talking about?
That's fair.
It's definitely Game of Thrones. But is it the new Game of Thrones?
I think you've actually convinced me to completely go against what I was thinking. Because at first, Targaryen obviously refers to Game of Thrones, but it doesn't obviously refer to House of Dragon. But Fire and Bloom is a cool name, as well as putting in the House of Dragon makes it obvious to what we're referring to. And it's a good reference to the book, where it comes from.
Yeah. So we going Fire and Bloom?
I think so.
Bet.
Yeah.
Bet. All right, join us next Monday for Fire and Bloom.
Dang,
we'll
that's
be discussing
insane.
House of the Dragon for the next 10 weeks. For the next 10 weeks, we're discussing House of the Dragon. Very excited about it. We'll see if it can rise above Westworld, as we've just completed the Westworld watch with a 4.93 out of 5 stars for season 4. That's a damn good season of television. But yeah. With that, we conclude this era of the Penny Bloom podcast. On to the next, my friend. If you dug it, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 40 hours of exclusive content. Every Thursday, I'm posting up comic reviews and book reviews. Got all sorts of stuff up there, all sorts of content exclusive to that. Cannot wait for you to hear it. If you're fucking with me and Joe, this Friday and every Friday, we're doing our 52-year journey through film. Last Friday, we talked the masterpiece that was Scooby-Doo, but this Friday, we start the first part of a duology in Kill Bill Volume 1 for our 2003 movie this Friday. Be there or be square. Head to Twitter, follow at Penny Bloom Pod, follow on Instagram at Penny Bloom Podcast. If you're listening to this, I know you fucks with that HBO television. Make sure to join us for the next 10 weeks for Fire and Bloom House of the Dragon coverage. We'll be doing that for the next 10 weeks. Head to wherever you're listening to this. Give it a 5-star rate and review. Drive that engagement up. Share it with whoever you can share it with. If you've got friends who you know are going to be fucking with House of the Dragon, make sure they're with us. You know, there's a lot of Game of Thrones podcasts. I know that. I'm prepared for that being the case. Everything we cover has a lot of competition, but it's not even competition. We just do it because we like doing it. So, and you know, we get listeners. We don't. Fuck it, you know. But we'd appreciate if you did listen. So come with us for Fire and Bloom House of the Dragon, where we'll probably have a pretty similar setup to what we did for the Westworld watch here. Most likely going to be a lot of episode scene-by-scene breakdowns. I got to guess those hour-long dramas, you kind of need them, especially early on in a series when we're dealing with new characters, getting acquainted with everyone's name
dude,
and such.
Learning names is going to be a bitch again.
Yeah, so I'd suggest going and staking out that IMDb, looking at faces, looking at character names, just kind of re-upping on it so that coming into that day, you are ready for who the fuck is talking, what character is which, just knowing what the fuck's going on. I think that's what I'm going to try and do. But I cannot wait for House of the Dragon. With that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure, and I cannot wait to reunite for Westworld again.
Westworld Watch will continue, my friend. It will continue one day. It will. If Season 5 doesn't come, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe we'll just go back and cover every other episode of Westworld. The Westworld Watch will continue in some capacity in the future. Not sure when, but it will. And with that, peace, love, and bloom, and these violent delights have violent ends.